I would think of it in terms of which clients do I make the most total money off of? Which clients do I make the most profit out of? Which clients are the easiest for me to do? Mm-hmm. Which ones can I do the fastest so I can do the most of them, which makes their total revenue more? Get a really good feel for who those people are and use that to your advantage. Welcome to Deals with Heels, where female entrepreneurs thrive. I'm Debra.
And I'm Christina.
And we are your hosts. And we are about to have our 18th
episode.
18th episode.
This has flown by.
It's gone really fast. It
has. So I'm hoping everybody is enjoying this just as much as we are. And to be able to provide a little information for people brings me all the joy in the world.
Hey, it does me too. I have a lot of knowledge. I love sharing it. It's my Gemini rising.
Oh, yeah. Well, we won't get into my Aries rising.
I know. And today's episode in the Time Key, our series that has to do with time and how time affects your business in a lot of different ways. And today we're talking about marketing time.
Oh, this should be interesting. Debra with marketing.
And there's so much about marketing time. And I think it's important to always consider the timing of what you're doing with marketing. And that seems like a no-brainer to do that, but there's specific ways to do that. And you do that with budgeting, because you're thinking about how much money am I going to have to spend on marketing? What percentage should I spend? And then how am I going to spread that out over the whole year or however long I have it? Mm-hmm. So those decisions, but also the timing of when am I going to have the customers that I need in order to pay for that marketing? How am I going to grow? All of those types of things are part of marketing too. And we'll get more into those in future episodes. We have a couple of more that talk more about setting goals. And
I also think with marketing timing, and even though I've seen this time and time again, but preparing ahead of time. So what you're going to be doing in quarter two, it should have already been addressed in quarter one, and making sure you are timing your things right.
That is so true. I learned so much. My first marketing manager job was with a cable company, and they had campaigns going virtually all the time. We had TV spots going all the time. It was one of those plate spinning jobs. How many plates can I keep spinning?
Right.
And honestly, I would be launching a campaign now. I would be making the media for one that starts in 6 weeks. I've got 2 more that are in there too, that are in various stages of planning. You just have to plan so far ahead. There's so many moving parts when it's with a big company. And it really is the same when it's my small business or your small business. It's just not as much of it.
Yeah, the things that I have learned about the timing and marketing is pretty incredible. Of, like I said, doing quarters throughout. And then also, what are you going to be doing monthly? What sponsorship are you need to account for all of that. And then the timing, like you said earlier, with the customer, okay, of course, in quarter one, there could be, especially if you're just starting out your business, you're not going to have all of that money. So what do you need to do in quarter one to help that marketing plan of the timing that you have put? Because, of course, we want to go into future projections.
Absolutely, we do. And that's so important to think about that plan, your marketing plan and your campaigns that are within that. And a campaign does not always involve spending a lot of money. You can say, all right, I launched my business just like I did not very long ago, and I did a huge networking campaign. I went to every networking event I could find. I introduced myself to lots of people, and there were some expenses involved in it, but it was usually lunch. I didn't join any networking groups yet. And I eventually did join BNI, and you're in Gold Star. So, but that was a campaign, and it was deliberate because I was launching without a lot of capital, and I needed to grow and get clients so that I was bringing in revenue as quickly as possible. So you and I've had that discussion about your business.
Oh, yes.
And making some very slight changes makes all the difference in the world. A lot of those changes have to do with once you have that plan together, now you're putting together your messaging and the timing of that sale and the timing of your messaging. If you are just starting out and not very many people know about your kind of business, there's some warming up that you have to do, some building demand, some education about that people do need your services and that is available. Lots of people may not know that decluttering services are available, or I have a refurbished battery client that is a new type of business that not very many people know about. So you got to spread that word too. You can't just immediately start hammering out call to action sales when people don't know what you're asking them to buy yet.
Yes. Yeah. And
so positioning that, so when you're planting those crops, you're watering and you're tending and you're doing all of the different types of tactics that are necessary to build that desire.
Well, and another thing to that is I am learning through every area, whether it be their business or anything, it's the consistency. So it's not, oh, you can put all of your eggs in social media and not do anything else. And you're wondering 2 months later why this has not paid off. Some are more long-term of getting your name and things, and then some are more short-term, but you can't just cut either one of them off. Like just, oh, they're not working good, like it, you have to do that timing.
You have to have multiple tactics that are going at the same time and get different ways because you haven't found that magic one yet. And once it's going, don't stop. If you've got 5 different things that you've tried and they're going all at once and you're rocking and rolling, don't try to eliminate. People are like, okay, one of these isn't working. No, they are working together as a team to build that up, and keeping the timing on them, matching the timing on them is really important. It's also important to think of your marketing as specific limited time campaigns. A lot of people will say, okay, I'm starting to run some Facebook ads, and they'll start to run some ads, but they're just running some ads and they're coming into their season or they're selling their stuff, but they don't think of it in terms of, I'm going to run a campaign and it's going to go from January 1 to January 31. And so there I have the time of the campaign. And then, okay, so what am I going to sell? Okay, I'm going to sell this service. Who am I going to sell it to? I'm going to sell it to women mothers that are stay at home. And then what message will they most likely listen to? Gosh, those people like to hear a discount. They like to get a good deal. Mothers, especially stay at home moms, very frugal typically. And okay, and so where are they? How can we find them? Where will they most likely see that message? So where should we put ours? And answering all of those questions coming up, now you've got a limited time campaign. And then and we'll talk about results and how to time all of those, but making adjustments now. Okay, so that maybe we should adjust the offer, or now we pick a new crop or a new target audience, and maybe now we're going to go after men. And the advertising that you do to lure a male customer is likely quite a bit different than what you're going to do for a female. So keeping within those time segments, those specific campaigns are really important because it helps you target better, because you have to think of it individually as it's not, ooh, I need to change those Facebook ads. It's, ooh, my campaign's ending. I'll have nothing if I don't.
And that's, I feel so much, even though we are the best friends, but also a mentor, because even though I technically have no desire to go into marketing, but running a business, you need to know these things for your business. Yes, it's great to have expertise and things, but if you can't even give that expert what you're needing out of them, it's hard for them to help you.
And for most marketing people out there, they are, for example, some really great social media marketing people, and they focus on content. But if you don't give them direction, then they are going to give you content that they think is appropriate to your business. I do content for clients, and I spend a lot of time learning about what they want, what their goals are, what kind of company they are. And I have strategy meetings with them every month and talk about what their goals are for that month. It's really important for me to get really in there, and I hold that in that time frame of a month. I don't schedule out further than that because it's unless we have a specific campaign planned.
Right.
But for just organic content, not paid campaign content, that timing's so important.
Well, I 1000% agree, because it's one of those that these are some of the mistakes that I did make, is not planning accordingly. And my business suffered in some areas due to that. So it is so important. If you aren't doing this, it's the beginning of the year. Like, there's so many resources out there. If you don't know, look into it, ask. I mean, I guarantee you make one email to this woman and ask her, and she'll tell you.
I will help you. I definitely will. In fact, here's one tip, honestly, that will help you with planning those campaigns. And I think I've probably talked about it before, but if you will get a calendar and you're going to go through the calendar and think about your product and services, and there are some natural months where some event happens that you can sell your services or your products to naturally, that are going to fill in. For example, Christmas, Mother's Day, 4th of July, Halloween. Fill all of those in, because even if it doesn't fit exactly, you're still going to have content surrounding that holiday. Every military holiday, Veterans Day, that's all content planning. Fill the calendar out with things like that, and you will be surprised how much of it just fills up. And now what's left isn't so daunting. And then you divide it up into campaigns, and then it really fills up. So breaking it down into those parts helps you find the content, but it also puts you in control of your marketing and your advertising and your plan. And when you reach out to someone like me to help, they don't have to have my strategy chops to help you.
Right.
They are able to say, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to target.
And it's so important to really know your ideal client, and if not, search for that, because it's hard, because there are millions and millions of people out there, and to be able to target it accurately.
I would think of it in terms of, which clients do I make the most total money off of? Which clients do I make the most profit out of? Which clients are the easiest for me to do? Which ones can I do the fastest so I can do the most of them, which makes their total revenue more? Get a really good feel for who those people are and use that to your advantage. If you can figure out who they are and which ones do you just like, which ones give you the warm and fuzzy that I just really like to deal with that kind of a person, and
I'm picturing it right in my, yes.
And I sometimes will drop my fee a little bit so I can work with them because I like to work with them that much. It's important to know who that is and to know that that's not your cash cow if you're willing to drop your price for it. So keeping all of that in perspective, you got to have some of that. And sometimes when you're at that low point, those are the best ones to go get.
Oh, yes. It's a friend or someone through networking. I can't remember the name exactly, but she was like, okay, we're going hunting per se. You have your rabbits, you have your deer, you have your elk, you have your bear. Who is your bear? And, the rabbits are a lot easier to get. They're a lot more frequent. So identifying.
They're fast, man. You can miss them if you aren't paying attention.
Yes. So who right there is your sweet spot, find out who you're hunting.
However you can categorize them that it helps you. I always do it based on money, just because it's so important that you get the ones that make you the most. It's important you focus on them because they take the least amount of time for the most money. I'm working the least hard. It gives me time to do other things. Those are all important things to consider, even if they're not your favorite, but mix some of those fave ones in there so that it's...
Most definitely.
Don't choke on the bones.
Don't choke on the bones. All right.
All right. Well, gosh, I could talk for a long, long time about marketing, guys. And so tune in for our last series of the season, which is all about marketing, and we'll get into some fun stuff. It's going to be really exciting, but we have to move on. And so our next segment is in every episode, one of our favorites. It is titled
Show Us Your Deals.
And it is part of what Christina and I, in fact, I owe you a heel picture and you owe me one too. We both had something today.
Oh, we did.
But I couldn't stop. I was running behind. When we met, we really bonded over heels, among many things. And so we would send each other a photo of the shoe we were wearing when we did a really good thing. So if we got a picture of a shoe, it meant something good had happened. Christina did something good.
Yes.
And it was really uplifting and just kept us both on kind of that growth mindset target. So we want to share that with you. It was very uplifting for us. And so we have been naming a Queen of the Week in every episode. Lost my train of thought there for a minute. Where you can participate by sending us a photo of the heel you were wearing or some other.
We don't discriminate. It doesn't have to be heel.
Yes, tennis shoes. We got a tennis shoe on one of our queens a couple of times. I think those are fine. Just whatever you were wearing when you felt so empowered and you did something great that you're proud of. Send that to us. You can email it to us at dealswithheels.com, or you can post it to social media and tag us, or use the hashtag DealsWithHeels, and we will choose a lovely female entrepreneur to highlight as our Queen of the Week every single week. So, Christina, who is our Queen of the Week?
This week's Queen of the Week is Amber Lee Photography. Amber Lee is such an amazing person. She's just like us. Of course, she's a redhead. If anybody knows me, I hang out with lots.
I know. How do you find? I mean, redhead is rare, but somehow
you're attracted to me. Let's face it, it's me.
So at Christina's Friendsgiving, which was very fun. Thank you for inviting me. I'm looking around and I'm like, there are more redheads in this room than in real life, for sure. There are so many. So Amber Lee was there.
And, she is opening up a brick and mortar. She's a branding photography. And she is opening up her studio in January.
I'm so proud of her. That is such a big move for a photographer to have their own studio, and to offer in-studio things for not just the general photography stuff, but for branding and product photography. I'm really excited for her. and to see what all she can do.
Oh, yes. I mean, and that's a big, like we talked about in previous episodes, having a brick and mortar is a business expense and it's a big one. And,
It is.
so it's one of those, I'm super proud of her.
I
Super
am
proud.
too. Way to go. Congratulations, Amber Lee. You are our Queen of the Week.
And check out all of her stuff in the show notes. We'll have all of it with you.
Absolutely. And we, please, ladies, show us your deals. All right. Now,
I need some.
yes, for our key to accountability. How are we staying accountable to our marketing plan?
What the whole episode is about. It's about the timing. One, are you taking the time to make sure that you're executing your marketing plan correctly? All of your timing. Two, are you taking the time to plan your campaigns? Yeah, you can have it on paper all day long, but are you taking the time to do those? So it's time and time management and all of this, especially when it comes to marketing, is you need to be making sure you're consistent and making sure that it's well thought out and give yourself plenty of time to do so.
I would say that is such really good advice. Because you can have it, you have it in front of you and you get so head down, plowing through, getting the work done that lots of things take a back seat. And it's important to honor the time that you thought you had and the way you did it and to consult that. I think it's fine to modify it, but you need to be intentional about it. So if you need to push that time and you need to say, okay, I'm not going to be able to start this campaign for 2 weeks because I just can't get the work done in time, then by all means, dig into it. Look at your calendar. How it's not only if I move this, how does this affect my budget, my timing, and how does it affect the rest of the year? And make those adjustments and make sure it's intentional. You may find that, okay, I'm going to hump it through and stick to this schedule because I don't want to mess up what this messes up in the future. So forcing yourself to, instead of just agreeing in your mind, to always consult back to that main plan and just having it a non-negotiable. It's not that you can't move it.
Yes.
It's that you need to be intentional about making that decision and it forces you to think about it and consider all of the things. Maybe you hire somebody to finish some work on the side so that you can stay to your plan.
And I think that goes back to what I said at the very beginning of planning a quarter ahead. Okay, will I have the staff? It's all about that timing. So yes, you want Rome conquered in a day. Believe me, I get it. But give yourself that time because you network so much that you didn't give yourself the time, so that was your marketing plan.
But I did it so well that then I didn't plan ahead of time and come back. I did have to come in and reassess my whole plan and add in time and move appointments because I didn't honor my own time when I was doing it. So that was a lesson that hopefully I've learned.
Well, that's my keys.
Well, I appreciate them very much. And our next episode, I think, does talk about timelines and setting those milestones and staying honored to those milestones in your business, like when I will have this many employees. And those are really important too. And it's a struggle for everyone. I am certainly not perfect in it. I have to adjust mine all of the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I look forward to talking about it too.
Oh, yes. Let's get this.
All right. 18.
Yes. Girl, we're just going to keep trucking.
That's right. It was so much fun. I've so enjoyed all of these. Even though they get kind of in-depth and technical, it's just kind of who I am. And I love I just love it all, and empowering women and really giving them a shout out and helping them get through all of the stuff that.
I just think we truly are the yin and the yang. I mean, it's so close, it's eerie that this has been the easiest thing I've ever done, but it's also been the most growth I have done, and I'm truly grateful for that. So here's to 19 more, whatever that might be. But yes.
Yep, I'm ready. It's going to be super fun.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening. Please check out the show notes where you can find information about our Queen of the Week.
Yes, and subscribe on YouTube. We are on YouTube. And always use the hashtag Deals with Heels.
All right, we did it.